स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रभुदानंद भगवान की जय। माता पिता की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता चैप्टर 3 verse number 42। Discovering the distance between yourself and your desires. This is God going to explain us. Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhyo यो बुद्धि परातस्तु सह। इंद्रियाणि senses, parani superior, ahu they say, indriyebhyah to the sense organ, param superior, manah mind, manashu manasah to the mind, buddhi intellect, para superior, buddhehe paratha yah, whereas the one who is superior to the intellect, sah is he, the Atma. They say that the sense organ are superior to the body. The mind is superior to the sense organ. The intellect is superior to the mind, whereas the one who is superior to the intellect is he, the Atma. Or we can say the Paramatma. Once knowledge is there, there is no Atma. It is only Paramatma. When Arjuna asked his question about what or who it was that impelled a person to perform improper actions, Duryodhana was standing right in front of him. Duryodhana knew that what he was doing was wrong. Arjuna knew this. These two men had grown up together, had been raised in the same way, and had the same teachers. Besides, right and wrong do not required to be taught. Duryodhana knew what was right and wrong, yet he did what he did was kama. Because of kama alone, or because of anger, which is kama in another form, a person does things that are not to be done. Anger is not something separate from karma. It is modification, parinama, of your own expectations, your own desires. Whereas there is no expectation, there is no anger at all. If you expect certain things to happen and they do not happen, karma can turn into anger. If you are not ready to accept what faces you, because karma transforms itself into anger, in this way, Lord Krishna said, the desire is this anger. Kama esha krodha isha. Kama esha krodha iha. Kama can express as what? Passion and danger. Anger. Kama can express as what? Passion and anger, Krishna said. And because this karma covers your wisdom, it deludes you. It takes you for the right. Yesterday we had seen how karma takes you for a big rides. Your desire to have sweet can take you to a huge ride, a hospital ride. However, when you do not want a particular pursuit based on desire to go any further, when you are convinced that it has gone far enough, you should be able to stop it. Pull down the shutters on it. The dictating factor here is your wisdom, your understanding, and not your fancies. Krishna was not asking to suppress or repress your desire. Krishna never asked to suppress your desires or repress your desires or control your desires, put an end to it. No, you cannot do it. Desires are normal. They happen. They are a thought in the mind and it will come. He said that to attempt to control like and dislike does not serve any useful purpose because the mind has its own way. But you need not be swayed away by them. In this way, your likes and dislikes will be no problem to you. Since your desires are located in the senses, mind, and intellect, you can have complete mastery over them. By discovering a distance between yourself and your likes and dislikes, you cannot stay in the mind itself. You have mastery over it. The more you go inside, the more reason you find for way you are the way you are. Exploration may provide you some understanding, but it cannot remove the reason, which is the problem psychology is faced with. Some understanding, some validation, and so on is useful, no doubt. But if you are always stuck with the same problem, what is the use of this kind of understanding? How can you deal with the problem? How can you master such a mind? To address this concern, Krishna said here that you have to go one step further. My boy, you have to go one step further. What is that step? Let's take it. You must be yourself so that you can manage your mind. In this way, you will be able to take care of all your raga, dveshas, your kamas, desires. You can take care of your raga, dvesha or kamas only when you are able to step outside of kamas. If you want to weigh something, for example, you cannot be inside of that which you are weighing. If I recall correctly, Newton was supposed to have said, if only I could be somewhere a little away from the earth, then I would be able to weigh the earth. Similarly, how can you fix up your mind when you are in the very midst of its mess? If you manage to solve one problem, another will pop up in its place. If you discover, for example, that all your problems are due to your mother, what do you have then? You have a problem of having had this mother. Then you will ask, why did I have this mother? Why didn't I have a better mother? Why did my mother behave like this? Nothing comes of this. In that you are left with the same problem. In spite of benefit of some validation, some understanding, the problem itself does not really go away. This is what keeps people going to therapists. And once they begin to go, the going itself becomes yet another addiction. It becomes something that must be done. Although some help may come from the therapy, another problem has definitely been created. Ultimately, in order to deal with the problem, you have to step out of it, which is not to discount the usefulness of the therapy as such. All that is being said is that you cannot really deal with psychological problems within samsara unless you step out of it. And how do you step out of samsara? Arjuna already had one foot out, it seemed, by planning to go to Rishikesh. He had decided to take sannyasa. He was ready to leave his bow and arrow and ready not to fight. So he has taken one step towards, let's go to Rishikesh and settle down there. No need to fight with my own people. He thought that he would be stepping out of samsara, but this is stepping in, not out. Stepping out does not imply any external change. All that is implied is a situational change in terms of one's understanding, wherein the distance between one's desire, one's likes and dislikes are discovered. Only then can the mind be mastered. Only understanding, terms of understanding, the order involved in mastering the mind. What is the order? Let's see. Whatever we master is always mastered from another standpoint. Change the standpoints now, which implies a particular order. Krishna was addressing this order here when he told Arjuna that those who know say that the senses are superior. So say the wise. Indriyani parani ahu panditah. The word superior, of course, implies comparison, and thus the question is, superior to what? Senses are superior. Superior to what? To the physical body is the response. The senses, indriyani, are superior to the physical body, which is part of an individual, a jiva. They are superior because they have the capacity to objectify the body. The eyes and other senses can objectify the body, differentiate the body. Another reason that senses are said to be superior to the body is because they are subtler in nature. Being subtler, the senses have pervasiveness, vyapakatva. For example, the body remains on the ground, whereas the eyes can go to the stars and see stars. To do anything at all, the body has to move, whereas the sense of sight, by simply opening the eyes, have already gone to the stars. Thus, the eyes and other senses are more pervasive than physical body. The superiority of the senses is further established by the fact that they are inside the physical body in the form of subtle body, sukshma sharira. Then the verse goes on to say that the mind is superior to the sense organ. Indriya bhuve param manaha because the mind can go where the senses cannot. For example, the mind alone go to the heaven, the senses cannot. We can also suffer a imagined hell, which is something that the senses cannot. Also, the mind is one in whose hand are the senses. Without the mind, there is no sense perception at all. All the mind is definitely superior to the senses. It has access to regions where the senses have no scope. The mind's accessibility and dependence of the sense organ on the mind definitely makes the mind superior, according to those who know. Again, with reference to the mind, the intellect is said to be superior. Manastu pura buddhihi. Manastu para buddhihi. Because the buddhi is able to dismiss a doubt of the mind with proper understanding. Buddhi includes your will also. Doubting the vacillation or the mind. Once there is resolve, which is buddhi, there is no more vacillation. You cannot say you have both resolve and vacillation at the same time. Once the resolve is there, the vacillating mind, the doubting mind goes away. There is no doubt that remains. Thus, buddhi is definitely superior to the mind. Recognizing you are the limitless, take care of your karmas. The mind and buddhi are the place wherein karma moves. In buddhi and mind, karma moves. The karma are located right there in buddhi, in your mind. The difference between mind and buddhi is only with reference to the type of vritti that take place. We have seen how the desire located in the mind can be so powerful that it can take the buddhi along with it. Therefore, in order to really deal with your desires, you have to step outside of them. Then you can see exactly where the karma is hiding. This is why Krishna went on to say that one who is above the buddhi is Atma, yourself. Yah tu buddhihi prathasah param atmaha. What Krishna meant here is that in order to take care of the karma, you have to recognize yourself as the Paramatma. This is where we started from. Even though he said to practice Dhamma and Sama, you have to see that you are not the buddhi, the mind, or the senses. You are Paramatma, the limitless. You have to step outside of yourself as Paramatma. Look outside your mind, your buddhi, your senses. Once you are awake to this fact, the enemy karma is no more a problem, because you are not buddhi, where the desire is taking place. This is how you deal with karma drastically and finally. That is the final nail. When you are free from the sense of limitation, there is no enemy, and the wants you may have become harmless, more privilege in fact. Your mind is there and you have the privilege of desiring. Desiring is a privilege only when you do not need to fulfill any desire in order to be secure and happy. Or you don't have to fulfill your desire. You can have them, but you don't need to fulfill any of your desires, because you yourself are full, limitless. A karma yogi and a sannyasi has to deal with kama only through jnana. This is the last verse we are going to see in chapter 3, verse number 43. Evam buddhehe param buddhvaha sansattabhya atmanam atmana jahe shatru mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Mahabaho, O mighty armed Arjuna, Evam, in this way, buddhihi, to the intellect, parama, superior, buddhava, knowing, atma, by the self, buddhihi, atmanam, the mind, samsatabhya, having made study, karma rupam, kama rupam, in form of binding desires, durasadam, difficult to understand, satram, enemy, shatram, jahi, destroy. Arjuna, the mighty armed, Arjuna is a mighty arm, oh, huge power he had. The mighty armed Arjuna, knowing that which is superior to the intellect, is in this way, having made the mind study with the buddhi, destroy the enemy. That is in form of binding desires, that which is so difficult to understand. In the previous verse, Krishna revealed the fact that which is above the buddhi, because of which the buddhi is illumined, is Paramatma. And because a mastered mind is required to know this Paramatma, Krishna concluded the chapter here by summing up that is to be done to destroy kama. The senses and the mind are in the hands of the buddhi alone, because the buddhi is superior to them. Hence the buddhi is their master. The buddhi means one's viveka, discrimination studies the mind, studies the mind and senses, which is why he said atmanam atmana samsatabhya sastram hi jahi. Here Krishna told Arjuna that he should destroy the enemy in the form of desire. Kama rupa shatrum jahi. By knowing that which is above the buddhi, buddhehe, param buddhava, to destroy an enemy outside of oneself is relatively easy, especially for Arjuna, who had so many special missiles, the power he had. Oh mighty Arjuna, missiles at his disposal, but to destroy this inner enemy, the kama, it is not outside. Duryodhana was outside. Kama is here, inside the mind and buddhi. Kama requires tact, maturity, dispassion and understanding. To indicate that Arjuna had these resources, Krishna addressed Arjuna as Mahabaho, one who is mighty armed. He is armed to gain the knowledge, to overcome his problems in the mind. The enemy in the form of want is an only expression of ignorance. Ignorance being the mother of kama and its brood, anger, jealousy, fear and so on. Therefore, to destroy the enemy, one must destroy ignorance, which one can only be done through jnana, knowledge. This enemy is said to be durasada here. That which is very difficult to understand. It would seem that desire should be very easy to understand since they just appear. But this is not the case, because every desire has a desire behind it. There is always a reason for liking something, and there is a reason for a reason. Therefore, there is no end to the desire that are all that are there, all of which is to be understood. Only when karma makes you suffer by its presence are you a sansari, a sufferer. With knowledge, you can enjoy the presence of karma. Even if you are surprised by it, you can also be amused. You can either go with it or you need not go with it. When you step outside of your desires in this way, in terms of knowledge, all your desires become privileges to you. Thus, whether you are karma yogi or sannyasi, there is no other way of dealing with karma except through jnana. What better way for Krishna to have this point than to conclude this chapter titled Karma with Jnana? The only true conqueror of the enemies of desire. This is where Krishna ends his third chapter on karma. Karma. Why karmas are important? We'll do the revision of the complete chapter. The chapter is complete here. Om Tat Sat Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadstu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Trityo Adhyaya. Om Tat Sat. Om here means Brahman is the only reality. Thus ends the third chapter called Karma Yoga. Having the topic of karma in this Bhagavad Gita, which is in form of dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, which is the essence of the Upanishad, whose subject matter is both the knowledge of Brahma and Yoga. The meaning of Om, all the chapters in Gita end with the above words, the only variation being the title of the chapter. In the expression Om Tat Sat, Om is the name of Brahman, a phonetic name of our Lord. Apart from this, linguistically, that is grammatically, this term has a meaning too. It means that which protects everyone, that which sustains everything. Avati Rakshati iti Om. Phonetically, A is the first basic sound that you make when you open your mouth. Thus, A is the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Also, when you close your mouth and make a sound, that what comes out is the sound of Ma. And in between there is a rounding of sound. U, O, A plus U, U plus O, which along with Ma is Om. All forms, object have names, and all names are words. Words, even the longest one like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I can't pronounce that long word. Very difficult for me to do. Not even possible in my dreams. Are nothing but sounds. The longest possible word is also a sound. These sounds all come between A, that comes when you open your mouth and makes a sound, and the sound Ma comes with the mouth closed. You cannot make any further sounds after this letter Ma. Thus, these are the two sounds within which all sounds are produced. Given that the Lord is Lord of everything, His name should be Om. Start to end. And to account you everything, for everything, the U is inserted in between. In this way, Om becomes the name of Bhagavan, the Lord. And also of these three letters has been loaded with Shastra to stand for the whole. This practice is called Arupa in Sanskrit. Just as country's flag represents its constitution, here A represents the entire gross world, sthula prapancha. The U represents the entire subtle world, sukshma prapancha, meaning the mind or inner world, and the Ma represents the unmanifested condition like sleep, when everything resolves and on waking again comes out. In this way, Ma stands for the entire realm of cause and effect, which is nothing but Brahman. That Brahman, Om, is Tat Sat. Tat, that Lord alone, is Satyam, Sata, and everything else is Mithya. Depending upon that Tat, the Lord, therefore the expression of Om Tat Sat is the general conclusion. Having said a lot of things, the conclusion is Om Tat Sat. After entire course, it is Om Tat Sat. Only Lord stands. Lord is the knowledge. Knowledge is what remains. Everything else is silenced. The entire prapancha entire sansara is silenced. Meaning that after all is said and done, Satya alone is. Om Tat Sat. The Bhagavad Gita, which has the status of Upanishad, contains the subject matter of Brahman. The knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya, is simply you are that. Tat Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. The Gita is also Yoga Shastra, dealing with attitudes and values with reference to self-management, self-improvement, maturity, and so on, which is Karma Yoga. When the rules of sannyasa comes under Yoga Shastra, since they are not jnana. The nature of the dialogue between Arjuna, Krishna and Arjuna were the Yoga Shastra, the Brahma Vidya. Yoga Shastra and Brahma Vidya form the dialogue that took place between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, the dialogue that imparts knowledge. The word Vada means discussion. A dialogue that imparts knowledge is different from dialogue between equals, where there is no imparting of knowledge involved, only exploring of knowledge. There are two types of dismissing dialogues. Herein, the other person is declared to be in the wrong. One type is the dialogue of fantasies, Jalapa, and the other is Vitanda, the dialogue of intolerance, where the one person cannot stand another person saying something and getting away with it. The discussion between Lord Krishna and Arjuna was neither Jalapa or Vitanda, nor was it discussion in order to discover something. It was a dialogue that imparts knowledge, wherein one participant knew and the other wanted to know. See, until and unless there is a desire to know, no one can teach, no one can tell. Until and unless you have the desire to know the truth, who will tell you the truth? Therefore, it was Guru Shishya Samvada, a dialogue between teacher and student. This particular meaning is denoted by the prefix sam added to vada, samvada. This chapter under study is entitled Karma, because it deals with the subject matter Brahman in terms of karma. Therefore, it is said Karma Yoga Namatriyo Adhyayah. Trityo Adhyaya. Karma Yoga Nama Trityo Adhyayah. As we have seen before, the word yoga used in each of the title of the 18th chapter of the Gita means subject matter. Thus, the third chapter entitled Karma in Bhagavad Gita, thus status is that of Upanishad, which contains the knowledge of Brahman, and Yoga Shastra in form of Samvada, a dialogue that imparts knowledge. It is not a dialogue between two fighters. It is dialogue between Guru and Shishya, between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, which is concluded here. Harihi Om Tat Sat. So we have done chapter number 1, chapter number 2, chapter number 3. We'll do the complete summary tomorrow. It will take at least 2 days, 3 days maybe to do the summary of the 3 chapters. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.